You know, every single second, almost 100,000 people ask Google a question. But have you ever stopped to think about what actually happens in that blink of an eye? So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the genius behind Google search, and we'll follow its journey from, well, the wild west of the early internet to the hyper-competitive arena it is today.
It all kicks off with this one simple action. You type, you click, and bam! Before you can even process it, you've got answers. But here's the thing, that's not magic. It's an absolutely incredible journey through a complex, elegant system that was designed to wrangle the chaos of the entire internet.
To really appreciate just how genius Google is, we got to jump in a time machine. See, before Google, the web was a digital jungle. It was messy, untamed, and honestly, super frustrating to navigate. Trying to find anything useful felt like a complete shot in the dark. This was the big problem that Google's founders were determined to solve.
This quote from Google's original 1998 research paper really gets to the heart of it. Sergey Brin and Larry Page weren't just trying to build another search engine. They were obsessed with solving the quality problem. The internet had tons of information, sure, but it was drowning in a sea of junk.
So why all the junk? Well, the first search engines were, to put it nicely, a little simple-minded. They basically just counted keywords. If you searched for cats, they'd just show you the page that spammed the word cats the most times. This made it a playground for scammers and a total nightmare for the rest of us.
And here is where the breakthrough happens. Google's founders had this totally revolutionary idea. The answer wasn't just on the pages, it was in the connections between them. They realized the web wasn't just a library of documents, it was a living, breathing network.
This slide just nails that fundamental shift. Instead of counting keywords, Google started asking a much smarter question. What do other websites think about this page? Suddenly, every link became like a vote of confidence, a digital thumbs up from one person to another.
And they gave this brilliant idea a name. It became their secret weapon, PageRank. It's this powerful algorithm that gets that not all links are created equal. I mean, one link from a major trusted website is like a gold star. It's worth way more than thousands of links from random sites nobody's ever heard of.
You know, the original paper used this really clever analogy of a random surfer. Just picture someone clicking aimlessly from link to link across the entire web. The pages they'd land on most often? Well, by definition, those have to be the most important, most central pages on the internet. And that, in a nutshell, is PageRank. It's a truly elegant way to figure out who has authority.
But that wasn't all. They also figured out how to harness the power of anchor text. So when someone links to a page using the words best cat videos, Google learned to connect that destination page with that exact phrase. It was a genius move to get the entire web to help them categorize itself.
So, okay, that's the brilliant theory. But how on earth do you actually build a machine that's powerful enough to read the entire internet and make all these crazy calculations in the blink of an eye? All right, it's time to look under the hood.
And here it is, the original blueprint from their 1998 paper. Now, I know it might look like a mad scientist diagram, but this is the architecture that powered a revolution. This is the engine that brought order to all that chaos. We can actually boil that whole complex system down into 3 key steps. First, you've got crawling. Think of Google's spiders as these tireless digital explorers, just constantly discovering new pages. Second is indexing. They bring all that info back and organize it into a massive, searchable library. And finally, there's ranking. When you search, Google instantly finds the most relevant books in that library and puts the very best ones right at the top for you.
So that was the foundation. But let's fast forward to today, because the game has completely changed. Google isn't some clever research project anymore. It is the undisputed king of the internet. And the battle for its attention is absolutely fierce.
Just look at this number, over 92%. That's not just market share, that's a near total monopoly on how we find information online. For any business or creator today, if you're not visible on Google, you might as well be invisible. It's that simple.
And the scale is just, it's mind-boggling. Over 8.5 billion searches a day. That's almost 100,000 searches every single second. The system Brin and Page built had to evolve in ways they probably couldn't even imagine, just to handle this kind of demand.
And this is why that top spot is so valuable. This chart shows you the click-through rate for each position on the search results page. The number one result gets over a quarter of all the clicks. By the time you get to the bottom of the page, you're basically fighting for scraps. It's a zero-sum game.
Yeah, with so much on the line, the old rules just weren't enough. Everybody knows about links and keywords now,
So to stay ahead and keep the results good, Google had to get way smarter, looking at things like user experience, if a site works on your phone, and even the hidden intent behind what you're searching for. The game got a lot more complicated.
So, what are the new rules of this high-stakes game? Well, it's not just about having a high page rank anymore. Now, it's about creating the absolute best possible experience for the user, period.
These are the new pillars. Great content? That's just the price of admission. But now, user experience is king. That's where stuff like Core Web Vitals comes in. It's a fancy term for how fast and stable your website feels. Because if a user gets frustrated, they're gone, and Google knows it. And maybe the biggest thing of all is that Google is trying to read your mind, to understand the intent behind your words, to give you what you actually want.
This slide just captures the evolution perfectly. The main question has gone from a simple, is this page important, to something way more complex. Is this the single best answer in the world for this person on this device at this exact moment? It's a much, much higher bar to clear.
And if you need one final reminder of why all this matters, here you go. 3/4 of us never even bother clicking to the second page. In the world of Google, page 1 is everything. If you're not there, you pretty much don't exist.
So, we've gone from the pure chaos of the early web to this incredibly sophisticated, competitive world. But this story is far from over. With AI now writing content and answering our questions directly, Google's whole quest to define quality is entering a brand new, totally unpredictable chapter. The race to organize the world's information, it's just started a new lap.